Welcome back, and today we are going to be taking a look at the new event vehicle, the HF-24 Marut. And in true event fashion, it is another strike aircraft that is essentially useless when it comes to air RB. Now in ground RB, this thing also isn't going to be that great. You don't have any ballistic computers for the guns, the rockets or the bombs. The flight performance is very much mediocre, if not outright terrible. And the only real benefit of this plane is the 4 Aiden cannons, the energy generation, and of course you are a strike aircraft at rank 5, meaning that you do get an airspawn. Now at the start of the game, you are able to capitalize on the energy advantage and try to, well, kill some people before they really get into the game. You might get some AFK people here and there, but the second anyone starts taking notice of you, this thing basically becomes useless. The energy retention seems to be somewhat okay, but it only looks okay because it simply doesn't really turn. The turn rate is abysmal. You can use the combat flaps at basically any speed, which makes it a little bit more bearable, but keep in mind you're gonna burn even more speed, of which you don't have much to begin with. And it might seem like I'm saying that this plane is absolutely dog shit and it's completely unflyable. And in a way it is, but that's again due to the compression. If this thing only saw down tiers, if it only saw 9.0 at the very most, it would be not a great plane. Most of the 9.0 still outperform you, but it would be playable. You would have advantages and there would be ways to play around your weaknesses. But in today's matchmaker, where every game is 9.7, this really never comes into play. The second your team falls apart, this thing becomes an absolute struggle bus. If your team doesn't fall apart, it's still a bit of a bus, but at least you can try to gun people down with the 30mm, which are essentially the only good thing about this plane, together with the airspawn. But keep in mind, they aren't that accurate, and at longer ranges you're not gonna see explosions like this right here. Very often you're gonna hit 1 or 2 shells and it's just gonna do absolutely nothing to them. If you're lucky, you might shoot off an elevator, kill their engine, kill the pilot, something like that. But very often they'll just tank the hit and then proceed to just pressure you, because even with the damage that they have sustained, well, they're still going to outperform you. MiG-19s are the bane of your existence. We get a hit on him right here. It says suffers damage of elevator. It doesn't really look like he is too badly damaged. Luckily for us, he is actually going to go back RTB and be out of the fight for a little bit. We go head on with the J-29. I don't really want to go head on with those things. I can't really dodge them if they really commit like that. And they shoot from longer ranges than me, so I'm forced to break off. Luckily, these guys don't recommit and I'm able to just kind of run away. When it comes to the subsonics, it's one of the faster planes that you can find, but at 9.0 you very often are gonna get uptiered, so this means not all too much. But planes like the J-29, even CO-13Bs, G9Ys, you can outrun, because you will top out at about 1150 and you have acceleration similar to that of the Hunter F6. So overall it's not completely terrible, but do keep in mind, it again is an absolute boat and you need so much room to fight anyone, because being a boat isn't an issue if you have the energy. And this thing does have the same kind of acceleration and power as something like the Hunter F6, but the sustain is worse than the F1 and the F6, and it loses more energy in the turn. So while you might produce the energy, you are not able to use it as efficiently, meaning you basically have less of it. J-29 comes in and I have a lot of altitude on him, I have some speed on him and a lot of distance, so I'm able to make a very wide loop. And if he tries to pull into the shot here, he's gonna burn more speed than us, and it's gonna allow me to just kind of fall on top of him. Now I do want to be careful that I don't get aim 9 beat. I don't want to give him my dead 6, but we have a Milan next to us and he is gonna distract the J-29 for a little bit, so we're able to come back down, drop the combat flaps, and you can tell that the turning circle here is enormous. The last 3 videos on my channel have been absolute boats. This is no exception. Try to recommit, don't have the nose authority, and I'm forced to run away again. But I have more energy than both of these guys, so I'm not really in a danger right now. But I'm on the clock and these guys are annoying to kill because they are just so much more maneuverable. And the J-29 really isn't that maneuverable, but when you're in this thing, basically everything is. Missile comes off the rails, you just kind of move around a little bit, pull tightly after it's stopped burning. It has no energy left, it's not going to be able to pull into that. And now we have 2 J-29s on our 6 that aren't that much slower than us. Now we are cutting into them a little bit. I want them to kind of cut me off and try to get the shot so that they burn a little bit more speed. But luckily we have a Milan next to us that's going to speed up that process a little. Because if I was on my own here, this would have taken me 10 minutes to complete. I really need to kill one of them, and I'm trying to be as aggressive as I can, but I can't really be aggressive, because if I take the fight with one of them, the other one is likely going to kill me. Get a shot here. Oil leak. That's good. It's also some damage to the fuselage. It's gonna burn a little bit more speed. I hope that I damage the engine as well. But the other J-29 now runs away, and it means that I can just kind of keep this guy occupied until I finally win the fight. I know that this guy is on the clock now. We are on Spain. He is definitely going to be overheating. And if he tries to run back to the airfield, I just chase him. And if he tries to take the fight, I'll just wear him down and drain his balls. We go into the vertical here. I don't want to go straight up. I'm not sure if he has a missile left. So I just want to take it a little bit more cautiously. And we just slowly but surely get onto his 6. He's not really able to go vertical after me anymore. So I do think I busted his engine. So we are going to now bust his balls and make sure that they stay nice and drained. After chasing him, he does turn around. I had to cut that out because I tapped out and my screen froze. So I just wait for him to go under me. He doesn't really have the energy to do anything here. And I just turn after him. And you can tell that I'm struggling pretty hard with this guy despite the damage that he has sustained. We are on 1 minute 50 of fuel. And I still barely am able to kill this guy. Now I am going to be a little bit more aggressive. I need this guy dead. And I know I'm giving the 6 to the AV-8. We drop some missiles or rockets. The missile misses us. And now the AV-8 comes in and we're going 600 kilometers an hour. So I try to get up over his nose. He manages to nick one of my elevators. But then he makes the massive mistake of using all that speed to fly directly into my guns. Thank you and good night. Next up is going to be another game where we don't really do that much. But it's really the most that you can expect from this plane. So we use the early air spawn here to kind of rush into the enemy team. But it is an up tier. And now the air spawn is essentially nullified. Now we do end up more on their side of the map. But be careful, because very often this means that you are going to be alone. This T2 kind of panics. He probably doesn't know that I either don't have missiles or that I can't really catch him. And what he does is he goes into this very wide scissor while just burning speed in front of me. And this is not exactly the best kill of the year. Quite the contrary. But I just want to show you that doing that doesn't work at all. He was much faster. All he had to do was absolutely nothing. And he would have been completely fine and probably killed us later in the match. But instead he decided to go for the reversal on a plane that was slower than him, that wasn't going to catch him in the first place. T2 goes down and we kind of just look at his team go for the F4C instead. And that's good, because now we are able to help our team out with this little Furball over here. First one goes down, the MiG-23 DN. And there's 2 left. We have a J-72 as well as the T2. And these 2 planes are going to be very annoying in the long run. But right now they are being pressured by my team, despite it only being F100s and F3Hs. I do want to go and kill them right now. I'm going to go for the T2 first because he's behind the J7 and I really don't want to get aim 9P'd, but in my maneuver to the T2, the J7 already gets clapped. We underlead our shots and that's basically all she wrote. The T2 is being chased by the F3H. The F3H is catching him. There's multiple people around, so I'm just going to take a nice wide line and make sure that I conserve my energy in case we get jumped from a different direction. Catgirl Love over here is about to get absolutely demolished. And we just turn around and reset our position. You want to stand by and wait in this thing. You don't want to be the one engaging multiple people at the same time. You don't even want to engage a singular person very often. Because if they are paying attention, there's a very big chance that you are simply going to get clapped. Ariad comes in. And that is going to be a bit of an issue. And he's on co-altitude. He's next to that F100. And I was expecting him to go for me. And then do a 180. Luckily for us, he breaks off and goes straight down. Now this is good for us because now we are able to actually use our energy advantage to make sure that we can pressure him and help our team out. Now this plane is the bane of this thing's existence because it's slightly slower, but that's about the only benefit that you have. We try to dive in here. He sees us last second. We again underlead a little bit and we just simply fly away. We don't want to contest that. We want to wait for the Ariad to kind of lose its speed, and then we can recommit and come back in and swoop him up. You can tell right here, I'm debating if I should go for the Ariad or the 4 guys on the other side of the map. But I feel like I need to kill this one first, because right now he is being pressured by multiple people. And that thing is going to be an absolute pain in the dick later on in the game. And keep in mind, we have a C-Vix and an AV-8 as well as another AV-8. So it wouldn't surprise me if he manages to win this. So I'm just going to actually help my team out and make sure that well, this absolute nuisance of a plane doesn't exist anymore. MiG-21 comes in, not sure where he came from, but we're gonna just keep taps on him. If he ends up pulling in front of us, we are gonna gun him down. But for now, we're just gonna keep our eyes on the little Italian and see if we can serve him some pasta. So right here, he pulls in, we kind of just break off, ignore, level out, go up, wait for him to take a fight again with another friendly, so that we can come in from an off angle and make sure that he has to either maneuver or take my 30 mils. I don't need to engage him 24/7. I just need to wait for good opportunities, like right here. He tries to go under me, he tries to go for the shot, flies nice and straight. We manage to crit him, we bust his entire plane. Unfortunately, no kill, but he does go down to a friendly, and now we are able to engage the other furball on the other side of the map. Now we have an F-40 coming in from the right, and he's diving on us. We have a MiG-21 on our left, and an F-86K directly ahead of us. Now this is not exactly a great spot to be in, but, you know, I need to work with what I have, and the F-40 seems to be going for me. So I do want to just make sure that I pull in prematurely here. And I'm going to set him up for the AV-8 that's coming in, that I managed to shoot down on the Spain match. So we just kind of fly away from him. We give him the 6 of the F-40. I don't need to worry about dogfighting this guy. I have some speed in me. And all I need to do now is keep him nice and straight. And he just gets absolutely obliterated. We turn away, dodge the AIM-9B, and now it's just a matter of cleanup. And we just go and shoot down the F-86K. A very uneventful match, I know, but that's something that you need to be aware of when you try to play this thing. It essentially is the bigger brother of the F-84F, and that is quite the insult to make. Now luckily you have better guns, but other than that you are looking at essentially the same type of playstyle, where you just kind of wait for things to happen in front of you, and if they don't happen in front of you, sometimes you can make something happen. I mean, it's not completely unflyable, but that's also largely down to the fact that this player base doesn't really know how to handle it, because they haven't really fought it yet. The second this gets into the match more often, people start fighting it, people start watching reviews like this one or other channels, they start realizing how free it is to kill this thing. It's gonna become even worse to play than it already is. Right now you have a little bit of an element of surprise. It doesn't really surprise much, because even if you catch someone off guard, they have time to just pull the other direction and completely nullify your play. But at least they don't know what to expect, and that is right now the only actual advantage that you have over many players. F9F directly underneath me, we try to loop in, we are just not able to, and I try to just decide to go directly underneath. I know that the F9F might just pitch down for me and absolutely gun me down, so I'm just pre-firing the rockets in order to flare, but the F9F breaks off and leaves me alone, which is absolutely terrific. The other F3As that we hit earlier is about to crash in a little bit here, which is just absolutely terrific, but for now we are just gonna wait for the F9F. I want him to go for me, and the second he dives to my level, I know that I'm gonna be faster, I have better acceleration, and I know that I can energy trap him, because even though he pulls a lot of AOA, he doesn't really maintain much energy either. So I know that I can very easily energy trap him if he takes the fight, but unfortunately for us, he does not. So I'm just gonna leave him alone. I don't really want to deal with him, and we're gonna dive after this F-86, F-35 over here. And I mean, that is essentially the plane. It's an absolute nothing burger, which is to be expected with the, well, basically every event vehicle lately, other than, well, maybe a handful, but it's all attackers. It's mostly over-tiered attackers, and this is no exception. When you look at something like the Hunter F1 at 9.0, you might think, why is this at 9.0 when the F2 and the CLs are at 8.7? This thing is no exception, because it's literally a Hunter that is basically worse than the S1. But yeah, that is the HF-24 Marut. Again, I can't really make this plane all too interesting, because it doesn't really have much quirks, and it's kind of just, you exist. And sometimes you exist in a match where people fly in front of you and you're able to gun them down. And then you might get 5 kills, be happy about yourself, and then you die 4 times in a row again, because you don't have any countermeasures. That is all I have for you today. Thank you all for watching, and you'll see me in the next one.